What the crap? Welcome back everybody to another Let's Play episode. Thanks for joining me. Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having such a good day. Over here in my new area. Got a cool little spot carved out of the swampland over here to the right of my mesa base place. That's hard to say, so I just wanted to show you guys what was going on here. I can actually, break this. I just lit this portal and I was thinking to myself, like, I build tons of portals in this world, and I'm sure some of you are curious as to how this works, how to build portal networks. And so before I hooked this up, which I haven't actually hooked it up, I just lit it. Before I hook this up, I wanted to tell you guys how it works, because it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. So I'm going to give you just a quick tutorial on how to hook these up. It should be pretty simple, so get your math hats on, and yeah, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is just put down your portal anywhere. Anywhere you want it. This is our destination portal. Don't even worry about it, just slap it down exactly where it needs to be. You can light it, but if you light it, you want to not go through it, and you want no items to go through it either. You want to have it not be active at all, just lit. So nothing has gone through this portal. It hasn't even become a portal like in the Nether yet. There's no other portal for it. It's just the one in the overworld, because it doesn't actually happen until you actually use the portal. And so you want to take your coordinates. What I do is, in real life, I've got a little notebook, and I just write down all my coordinates. And you can also do it in the game too, which I started to do, which is pretty fun. So I've got the first coordinates for each destination is the overworld in the square brackets, and then the nether coordinates are in the curved brackets. And so this is just a good way to keep track of all the different portals in your world. So if you ever forget where something is, you got like a little record. Or if anyone else is playing on your world or something and they need to know where stuff is, they got like a record. So pretty cool. So anyway, you want to take down your coordinates. So you can see here we're at 228 and -162. So let's write that down, or put it on the screen, or remember it somehow. And then what we're going to want to do is, without going through the portal, without activating this in any way, just having it lit, like I keep saying, we want to go to our nearest portal that's already established somewhere else. And so that would probably be the Mesa base place. You don't need to do it at the closest one, it's just for convenience, but you could do it from any other portal. The math should work out just fine. Okay, so we've made it back to our nearest portal. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the nearest portal. This math will work from any other portal in your world, but just for convenience sake, we're going to do it from the closest one. So what you want to do, remembering the first number, we want to take the second number, and this is going to be our closest portal number. And so we're going to go with an x of -235 and a z of 10. Which is what the portal would be. And so it doesn't need to be perfect. Just try and do it from the center of your portal, or one of the blocks of your portal if it's just 2 by 2. And so those are going to be our two overworld numbers that we're going to do all of our math from. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the coordinates of the destination portal and the coordinates of our closest portal, and we're going to look at the relationship between the two. We're going to look at the distance between the two portals. And so, keeping in mind negatives and positive numbers, we're going to do a distance between both of the x coordinates. And this is going to give us our total distance in the overworld between the two portals. Which, if you didn't know, the nether is actually 8 times smaller than the overworld. And so we can take these numbers and divide them by 8 in order to get our total distance we need to travel in the nether. And so then, going through the nether portal, you can see I'm in here, and this is how to get to that portal from the nether side. We want to take one last coordinate, which is from the nether itself. And so we want to put down -32 and 2. So that's going to be our nether coordinates that we do the next bit of math off of. And so now that we have our distance that we need to travel in the nether, we want to remember and put back the negatives or the positives depending on which direction it's going to go, which is the most complicated part. Don't mix up your negatives and your positives and your directions and whatnot. But if we get all of that right, we should see that we need to take this number, our nether portal number, and add this number, the distance, divided into the nether distance, to that number. So my gosh, that was complicated. But anyway, if we did it all right, we should get a fourth number, which is going to be our destination nether number. So I'm going to dig off in whatever direction it takes, and we're going to be right back when I get there. So guys, we actually have a tunnel that turns out it's real near where we're trying to get to, which is great about making these tunnels everywhere. This is the one that goes to the end, actually. And so you can see we are at -20, and if we go over here, we'll be at 26 in the X, which is our final coordinates. We're going to plop down a portal, and fingers crossed this all goes to plan and it all works out. Hopefully I didn't mess up any math. Of course I wouldn't be showing you if I did, so obviously it works. Let's go through here and see the product finished. Ta-da! And we've done it. And so that's the way you do it. That's how you do it. Hope that was interesting for you guys. That always confused me for such a long time, like trying to figure it out, and they finally, like, they changed it, and it was even more confusing, but it's, it's pretty simple. I know that math was pretty, oh my gosh, screen cluttering and crazy, but if you really think about it, all you need to do is take the distance between the two portals, divide it by 8, and go into the nether and go that far in the nether. And that's really as simple as it is. And so, it can be as complicated as it looks. It's as complicated as it looks. What am I even trying to say? It looks complicated, but it's really quite simple when you actually understand what's going on. So hopefully I was able to help you guys out with that. So guys, bet you're wondering why we even came out here in the first place. Just chopping down some trees, putting some stone down. It doesn't have anything to do with this witch hut. I actually have a fully functioning witch farm in a different place that I'll probably show you guys at some point. But for now, I'm building this big stone structure, and there's definitely a goal here in mind. It's a long-term goal. It's going to be a very big project, and so I figured I would, show you guys how I do things like this. Show you how I build a huge, crazy, giant, ambitious project like this, because that's what I like to do in this game. I like to push the boundaries. I like to, do stuff that maybe people didn't even know was possible. And so the goal here is it's gonna take a few episodes. It's gonna be a long time. It's not gonna be at the end of this episode that we see the fruition, or see the fruit of our labor, see the plan come to fruition. It's gonna be a long time, because I'm gonna build a charged creeper farm. That's right, you heard it here first, everybody. Charged creeper farm on the console. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a gamble. I don't even know if it's possible, but we're going to figure that out together. We're going to do this as a team. I mean, I'm going to do all the dang work, let's be real, but you're going to, you're going to be here with me. You're going to see it come together. You're going to see if it's possible, and maybe inspire you to try something like this yourself. So So I got a stuffy nose. That's frustrating. Bear with me. We've been doing some work. I'm gonna go up here. As you can see, there's quite a bit done. I've got the entire roof finished. There's a lot of sections to it. This first row is done, but if we go over here, I can show you that actually I've only done half of the guts for this thing, and the rest of it has not been put into place. Just the glass. You can see there's this big area over there that hasn't been finished, but the way that this has been working, ooh, it's getting to be nighttime. Maybe we'll get a demonstration, but I've been making these little hallways, and the creepers follow me in, and then I've been opening the door. They fall down into this little area. Really simple. Really, it's pretty fun to do, actually. It's it's kind of exciting to get creepers to follow you around and stuff and trap them. It's pretty fun. But if you come down here, I'm going to show you, how much I've done, how much there is to do left, and talk to you a little bit about how this works. And so, right now I've got 16 creepers. You can see them. They're all kind of over on that side of it. But what's going to happen is they're going to fall into this tube. They're going to be trapped in here, and then the lightning is going to turn them into a charged creeper if it hits the platform. And so the way that lightning works is that if we look here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks away. And so for some reason, if the lightning was to strike any of these blocks, including any of the stone blocks, it would actually turn the creeper charged. And that's because it actually affects a 3 deep into the ground area, which is pretty interesting. So that's how that works. Then once they're converted into a charged creeper, we can just drop the floor out, and they will fall into a water stream. These water streams are really simple. It's just a repetitive pattern where at the end of one you put a sign, you put one above where it ended, and then you start with your next stream up at head level, and this will just push people all the way through, or push creepers, I should say. So I just don't press any directional buttons. You can see the water's pushing me down this tube. So if I kept going down this way, I'd go all the way out. We can go by all the other tubes that are all done. We got packed ice to make it just a little faster, which doesn't really matter. It won't happen very often. So, but I figured I might as well, and so we'll pop out here eventually. And yeah, so that's how it works. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to do here with the collection area. I haven't figured out, I'm probably going to do a water elevator to push them up into the air quite a bit, just to get them off of the water, and then, maybe either make a sky structure to do the whole head collection thing, or, maybe I'll pipe them somewhere else. Maybe I'll pipe them up there by where the portal is, but yeah, so that's pretty much half of the farm functionally done. Like I said, I got 16 guys in there so far, so I'm going to need to do quite a bit of work, during the night to get more creepers. So I want to talk a little bit about potential issues that we're going to have with this farm that I'm predicting, and maybe one of the ways that I might have screwed up pretty bad. So let me lay it down for you. There's 70 mobs in an area at one point, maximum. That's the mob cap is 70, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the number. Anyway, regardless, it's less than 100, and so the problem here is we've got more than 100 zones, more than 100 things. We could actually count this out, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's more than 100 by a lot, and so we're going to have an issue with the mob cap. Eventually, we're going to have so many creepers in here that no more mobs are going to be spawning in the area, and so there's a few things we can do to fix that. One is going to be the creeper farm, which I talked a little bit about, which I've been testing out in creative, and it looks like it's probably going to work, which is pretty cool. The other option is to just go somewhere else and to have them follow me through the nether and go through 2 portals, and that way, they would be spawned in an area that is not filled up with mobs, and then they would no problem be able to fit in here. And so I don't think that there's any kind of rule in the game that wouldn't allow more than 70 mobs to be in an area. It's just not going to keep spawning mobs after there's 70 or whatever. So that's the plan. Once I get quite a bit of guys in here, then I'm going to have to use a different method to get past the mob cap. So that's the plan. So I've been doing a little bit of work in creative. So let's pop over there and I'll show you what I've been working on. So I've been doing quite a bit of work testing and experimenting and trying to figure out how to spawn creepers and nothing else. I've been partially successful. You can see there's a creeper down there, so this system does work very slowly, but you can see also there's a skeleton in there now too. And so the way that this all works is that zombies are taller than skeletons and creepers, and so this trapdoor up here prevents zombies from spawning, so we're only getting the other two kinds. Spiders can't spawn because of this half slab, and I'm pretty sure that witches can't, endermen definitely can't, maybe some baby mobs can, but you know, it's very rare, and so most of the time we're getting just these guys. And so what this is this is just basically the same thing from the gold farm. We just got an activator rail, and there's one space next to the activator rail that they can fall in. So that's how we funnel them into one block. And it's very slow right now. There's nothing else in this world, and it's still super slow. So I'll probably end up building like 4 of these going off in either direction if I do this in survival mode. And so that's the collection thing, or the, you know, the pickup part of it. And this down here is a whole separate thing, and this is supposed to be a sorter. I found this on the internet from a long time ago, and it's for PC, and so obviously something about it, you know, isn't reliable. The video that I watched was saying that it was like 95% reliable. I'm seeing more around like 60% reliable. It seems like for every 2 creepers we get in here, we get a skeleton in here too, and it just sucks. And so really frustrating. The way it's supposed to work is there's a wolf there, there's a cat here, and so, you know, when the pathfinding, when their AI comes into play, they're supposed to choose a path either, you know, as far away from their from the mob as possible, depending on which one they are. And so it's supposed to go left and to the right, depending on what kind. But as you can see, we had a skeleton go in there just a minute ago, and so it's totally not reliable. The cool thing about it is that if we were to AFK and let them build up, we would get a lot more creepers in there than skeletons. So, you know, it would be a good way to at least somewhat sort them out, but it just wouldn't be worth it because I don't have any cats. We'd have to get a wolf. I'm going to build this so high up into the air that it's going to be really hard. I mean, this guy has to be untamed too, so it can't like teleport up to you. The cat would be fairly easy, but we'd have to build some, you know, this would be hard to build in survival, and so I don't think that it would be worth it because it doesn't work very often. You can also see that this is super slow. The whole time I've been talking, only that one skeleton has spawned, and so definitely not ideal. But I think that with 4 of these, it should be, you know, enough to at least supply our farm with creepers. And, you know, it's not going to take, it's going to take a very, actually a long amount of time to put each creeper in each hole, and so it'll give it plenty of time to, you know, stock some new guys up. And so I'm probably going to build this high enough to where when we're at the charged creeper farm, you know, down at ground level, this is just barely loaded. So it will still work, you know, especially like during the daytime and stuff. And then we'll have an AFK point that'll be way higher than this, and so the charged creeper farm won't be in render distance when, you know, we're using the farm, and so the only spawning space available will be, you know, this farm. So let's see what happens here. There's a couple guys, and their AI is not updated. And this is one of the frustrating things about console, is there's some kind of limitation here where the AI has these big long pauses where it just gets frozen. It doesn't do anything. I'm sure you've seen, like, running around a cave, you could just walk right up to a creeper and he doesn't even notice you. So this means, as you can see there, it completely breaks this entire design. It's so frustrating because, like I said, 60% of the time this works perfectly, but right there, like, why did these guys go, you know, into the wrong hole? No one will know. You know, I wish that it was somehow more reliable. I wish that there is a way to have more reliable AI, but I think that it's just so randomized and so, you know, so crazy that I just don't think you'll ever be able to get 100%, you know, sorting mechanism based on AI alone, which is real bummer, like a real bummer. You know, while I'm looking at this, it might be because there's an uneven amount of blocks or something, so a little bit more testing might be involved, but like I said, I don't think it's going to be worth it. It's going to be so hard to get these guys up here that it just wouldn't it just wouldn't be worth it. And then look at that, where the creepers are going to the lava, like what the heck. So yeah, so I think my point is I'm going to ditch this sorting system. Not going to do this if I build this farm. I'm probably just going to build 4 of these farms, you know, 1 in every direction, and then just sort them out manually probably. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I thought that was interesting. It's too bad that this doesn't work. I don't understand. It was, you know, when I first built this, it was like 90% of the time, and something changed, and I don't understand what it is. Like, look at this. This guy won't even go. Like, he's stuck on the trapdoor. Like, how? What? So okay. Anyway, that's the quick little mob farm concept. So I'm gonna try and build this in survival, and I'll bring it back when we get a little bit of progress done. So everybody, I just noticed I'm running out of time for today's episode. Got quite a bit of work done. Just getting a better vantage point of our big project down here. You can see all the pieces with carpet on it are creepers in the hole, and all the trapdoors are empty ones, so we got quite a bit of work done today. I mean, that's a good almost half, it looks like, almost, of the, you know, of half of the farm. So, you know, pretty good amount. I doubt I'm gonna fill the whole farm up, honestly, you know, anytime soon. The mob caps can be kind of tricky to work around, but you know, I figured I'd bring you back and just give you a little bit of an update about what the next step of this operation is going to be. You know, I was going to finish this episode off by building a big, you know, or at least starting the mob farm. You know, I was going to start working on that. I was going to figure out where I was going to go and all that, but you know, I was just thinking about it, and it's not too, like, you know, confirmed as to how I'm going to do it, and so I don't want to just start working on something and realize I'm doing it wrong. So instead of rushing it to get it into this episode, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to think about it a little more, and you know, maybe the next time I bring you back, it'll be a little bit closer to being what I want it to be. So yeah, mainly it's just because it's not the most efficient thing. I think I could probably figure out a better way of doing it. So yeah, anyway, that's the plan. I think I'm going to end it here for today. This was quite a big project. It feels super satisfying to get something like this done. I mean, they're not done, obviously, but to get so much work done in one episode, man, it was a lot of fun. And I love that building montage. That was pretty awesome too. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about that. Till next time, everybody, you know who it is. Peace!